tonight is our class that's focused on spiritual healing for cancer. And this class is specifically focused on the spiritual side. So just to kind of remind you guys that this class is not meant to diagnose, treat, or prescribe. That this class, the focus is to be a support, to add an extra layer to whatever healing that you are working with right now, and to provide you an additional support system to kind of help you lift up and facilitate a more complete healing. So please don't use this class as medical advice or a reason to stop medical treatment with your providers. Use it as a support. And just know that I'm not a doctor. I'm not here to diagnose, treat, or prescribe you. I am here as a spiritual wellness advocate. I don't know how else to call myself, a psychic weirdo. If you guys don't know about me, I am also a Reiki master. I was kind of born with energy healing and medical medium tech kind of abilities, and I'm going to use those tonight to do some energy clearing and meditation. So we're going to talk a little bit about the spiritual mind, body, spirit connections, the emotions behind cancer, and kind of what emotional or spiritual experiences kind of lead to the causes of cancer. And then we're going to do an energy clearing meditation as we go. And then we'll have time, obviously, for questions and things like that. Beautiful soul, that's what you can call yourself. Well, I feel a little awkward calling myself a beautiful soul, Nicole, but thank you. I don't know if I'd run around going, I'm a beautiful soul. Yes, I am. It just feels weird, but I don't know. I guess I am still awkward and uncomfortable with my own gifts. And so, I tell you guys often that I do present myself to you as a very much unhealed healer. And so I still have things that I'm working on. So I will openly, sorry, I didn't turn off my phone. I will openly admit when I have answers and when I don't. And I do want to recognize interruptions, even though that was my fault for not turning off my phone. Interruptions show me resistance or fears that are going on. And fear is a big thing with cancer. So I'm going to share my personal experiences with cancer. And then we're going to start talking about the emotional, spiritual connections. So about 4 years ago, I had a wisdom tooth pulled and ended up with dry socket. And if you've ever had dry socket, you know that's incredibly painful. Like, to me, that was worse than labor because it was just this constant horrible pain. It was not fun. So I ended up going over to the ER because I was in so much pain and my dentist couldn't do anything until the next day. And they did a CT scan there because they're like, we want to make sure this isn't an infection and make sure you're okay. And during the CT scan, the doctor came in and she goes, do you know you have lymphoma? And I was like, she's like, you have cancer. And I was like, what? No, I'm here for a tooth. I don't have this. And she goes, no, see your lymph nodes here. These are very concerning. We need to get you in to see an oncologist. And of course, I remember the feeling of like the pit of my stomach just dropping out and just that sinking feeling of going, oh my God, am I going to die? It was like literally right. I went just 0 to 60. Wow. What's going on here? I'm going to die. This is scary. This is crazy. And I remember going home and just bawling in my husband's arms and like being so afraid. And, he was like, it's okay. We don't really know anything yet. So just calm down. He was trying to be my calming force. And I was in drama mode. I was like, I'm dying. It was so scary to me because, in the world today, I believe they say 1 out of 2 people now will have some sort of experience with cancer in their lifetime. And from my non-medical knowledge, I've also read that, interestingly enough, only 5% of cancers are hereditary. And, of course, this is on the medical side, not the spiritual side of them, saying, hey, most of these are caused by exposures to chemicals exposures to viruses or things. There's a lot of different causes to cancers. And I found that very profound because I went into hyper research mode because as an autistic person, I go into the rabbit holes and research everything to death. And so I did that. And in the process, I also was like, well, I grew up with natural medicine, so I'm going to do whatever I can to support myself naturally. I went on a juice fast of carrot juice and turmeric and ginger. I took CBD oils, and I cannot remember the rest of the supplements I took. I took a lot of different supplements. My father's a naturopath. I went to see him. I got IV therapy that is focused on cancer, and really went all out for like, I'm going to just knock this down to the ground. And I also went in really spiritually because I read this story of this woman. I believe that she had done, I can't remember what treatment option she did, but it was a natural treatment. But one of the things that she said as I was reading her story was that she went really within. She eliminated all negative people, negative emotions, negative experiences. She wouldn't watch the news, read the newspaper. She stayed away from social media, and she surrounded herself with positive people, positive influences. She only watched happy movies. And then she spoke about her cancer in the tense that I am healing, or I have already healed. And so she would never say, I have cancer. She would say, I am healing breast cancer. I can't remember whatever she had. I'll just say breast cancer because that's the easiest one I can come up to. I am healing breast cancer, or I have healed this within me. And so she spoke as if she had already completed her healing journey. And that actually was something that stayed to me to the point where I tell all of my clients, no matter what their illness, use the phrase, I am healing. And I try to be mindful and use that myself. So I talk about my throat chakra often, that my throat chakra has an imbalance. And so I will often say, I am healing my throat chakra, because I want my body to hear the words, I am healing. And I want to continue to bring that to my body. And so I would do that. She also talked about how she would lay in bed and do meditations and visualizations, and how she would visualize these beautiful stars of energy going down to her cancer and healing and shifting the cancer. And this is before I really got into energy medicine and energy healing. And so I was like, wow, this is really cool. And so I started doing the same visualizations for me. And took them about, I don't know how long it was, I can't remember, about 6 to 8 weeks to get to the oncologist. It was quite a bit of a wait. So the whole, I'm like, oh, in panic mode. And I get there, and they'd run some tests and things like that. And the doctor looked at me and he was kind of pissed off. And he was like, why are you here? And I was like, well, this is what I was told. And I kind of relayed the story. And he goes, nothing's wrong with you. Your tests are fine. Your doctors are idiots. Go home. And I was like, are you sure? Because the CT, they said, and he's like, go home, you're fine. And I was like, all right, bye. Peace out, dude. And I left. And so obviously my experience is a very limited one of either, A, what I did absolutely helped me and reverse whatever was going on, or B, there was a misdiagnosis. Either one could be a probability or combination of the both. So my experience obviously is limited to that range. I do not have further experience, through the treatment path or things like that, but I do remember the panic, and I do remember how it felt to wonder if I was going to live or die. And it was a terrifying experience. And so I share that experience with you because, while I have not really experienced exactly what you're experiencing, I feel like on a very small, tiny scale, at least I understand a little bit. And I want to share with you the things that I have shared with some of the cancer patients I've been working with throughout the years. In fact, one of them I just met with today. And, some of the things we went over, and it was interesting. It's like, well, I thought I already healed that. I thought I already dealt with the emotions of this, that, and the other. And I said, well, they're still coming up. So there's still something left. There's still something left that needs to be healed. And so looking at like, what are our triggers? What are the emotions that we are feeling? What are the emotions of the areas of the cancers or things like that? And so we're going to kind of get into that a little bit, get my handy dandy notes out. So when we look at cancer spiritually, it shows that we could be feeling out of control. We could feel limited or trapped in our life, or that we're holding on to very toxic emotions like anger, resentment, like I will never forgive, things like that, right? And sometimes those wounds and those emotions are things that have festered from the past. Now, I know medically they say that only 5% of cancers are inherited, right? We inherit the tendency to get those. But, they're emotionally and spiritually, I really believe that's a lot higher, because we can inherit emotional tendencies, emotional imbalances, or, emotional depletions from our family. And so we look at this through epigenetics, and that's an entire rabbit hole that I love to go down all the time, but I'll just touch on it instead of going completely down it. They have done some pretty profound studies. My favorite one to quote is the one where they did with Holocaust victims, where they looked at the Holocaust victims and how they fared after the Holocaust. And they found these people were either more resilient or less resilient. They either had more health issues or less health issues. And then they tracked their children and their grandchildren. And they found that those things and those experiences were passed generation to generation to generation. And so in part, it is my belief spiritually that we keep passing these things generation to generation because we're not processing, we're not healing. So you may find that some of your emotional tendencies are similar to a parent or a grandparent. It is really profound as a mom of 7 to watch my children, and I'm like, wow, that one acts like his grandfather, that one acts like her grandmother. Oh, you're just like your mom. And I see them living out similar experiences. And I actually watched my daughter, Shauna, she was actually on my live, if you guys were on my live today, do the same thing. What did she do? She got involved in bad crowds, drugs and alcohol, things like that. She ended up getting pregnant from a guy that she met at a party. Exactly what I did, to the T. So far, her life has almost completely mirrored mine. And so I had her when I was very, very unhealed, completely unhealed. And so she is carrying my unhealed tendencies. Now, if you compare her to my daughter Zen, who I had at 35, when I was into my healing journey a little bit, totally different things, And so, nutshell version, it is possible to inherit the emotions. And then we have similar experiences that turn that genes on, turn the genetics on, push those emotions. We have those tendencies to hold on to those. When we look at cancer, it is showing that our emotions and our traumas and the things that we have dealt with are literally starting to fester within us. That's, if you think about the body, let me see if I can get my little handy dandy notebook here. And I'll kind of go into this very briefly. We have a spiritual body and an energetic body. And so I'm going to do my amazing art skills. And we're like this. That's us. Woohoo. Right? And say we have an emotion or a trauma that damages that energetic field. We start getting congested energy or blockages emotionally. So say we deal with a, childhood trauma, and that childhood trauma decides it's going to lodge in our liver. And we hold on to the old anger and the old pain and the resentment and the feelings of indignation and shame and just, those people hurt me, they destroyed my life, that kind of stuff. And then we get to be 40, 50, 60, 70, and all of a sudden the doctor's like, oh, you have liver cancer. Why? Because we spent 60 years allowing those emotions to fester within us, to build within us. And so, there is a spiritual connection to every illness. And Cancer shows that we are on guard. We're not able to let go. We're like, no, I have to fight. I have to fight. It shows that we are pushing our body further than we have strength. A lot of women who experience like breast cancer is the inability to nurture and care for yourself. It's saying, I'm taking care of everyone but me because I don't feel like I deserve to be cared for. It's because I feel guilty, or I worry, or I have a lack of self-confidence that really prevents me from caring for myself. And so I spend all the time taking care of myself, other people, nurturing other people, because I don't myself feel worthy of support and nurture. And each of the different cancers have different emotions. So I'll touch on a few that I made a list on. If you have a specific question about maybe one that you're dealing with, feel free to post it in the comments. But bladder cancer is tending to be about guilt or past actions, internal conflict. And interestingly, with bladder issues, I have found that most people, not all, most people have either experienced a sexual trauma or are the perpetrator of a sexual trauma, either bladder or kidney cancer tendencies. Not all, a very broad generalization, but quite a few of them tend to fall into that, which is very interesting to me. If we look at bone cancer, this is holding on to either a deep fear or like a deep rage. And it's basically saying, I'm holding on to this pain, this fear, this resentment. There's so many past issues that they're piling up. They're eating me away, and I am losing my internal strength. Like I've fought for so long. I've held on to them for so long. I'm now collapsing under the weight of them. Brain tumor is being in conflict with yourself, feeling negatively affected by the people that you have in your life or your surroundings, or just feeling trapped. Like I am trapped and I have no way out. And those are typically kind of those emotions that we look at. We touched on breast cancer already. But breast cancer really needs a self-confidence, the belief of I deserve to be cared for. Ovarian cancer is a very deep feminine wound of my feminine part of me is the weakest part of me, that it is not a strength, that it is a weakness, and that weakness gets me hurt. It is sometimes from terror or unresolved shame or humiliation. And it is typically connected also with survival. So it's like, I fear I won't have enough to survive. I won't have enough food. I won't have enough money. So it's someone that's constantly in survival mode of like, when's my next paycheck coming? When's my next meal coming? Things like that. And typically ovaries are also about the feminine intuition. So this is saying someone that's like either pushing aside their intuition and completely ignoring it, or feeling like that's bunk. I'm not going to listen to that. And then they keep, because they didn't listen to it, they keep getting into trouble, So those are kind of ovarian cancer. Lung cancer is unprocessed grief, sadness, or worry, like almost 100% of the time. If you think about the lungs, do we take a deep breath? Like when we're sad, how do we cry? Like if we're really sad and we're only breathing up here. When we're afraid, up here. And in the Western world, we tend to not take full breaths. So we breathe only in the top parts of our lungs. And so we're not fully processing and releasing that energy. And when you look at your lungs, it is one of the main ways that your body brings in new prana, chi, ki, whatever you want to call it, energy to your energetic body. And there are ways that we absorb energy with our energetic spiritual body. One is through air, water, food, the sun, grounding and connection to the earth. And then also through each other, we exchange energy. And so lung is one of those really, really important places for bringing in new energy and pushing it out. And when we do the meditation today, you guys will notice that we do a lot of deep breath. I am a big fan of breath work. I am not an expert in it, but I feel that it is a great way to process and release a lot of emotions, and is something that I would recommend 1,000 times for you to go look into. I'm going to out myself maybe just a little bit with lymphoma. It is feeling threatened. So I always feel like there's a threat. There's another threat around the corner. Someone or something is going to hurt me. What's going on? Threats, right? It is a toxic, negative outlook. So for me, I actually had that. I was always negative Nancy, glasses half full. Oh, woe is me. I'm a victim. Life is never going to work out for me. That was my perspective for most of my life. It is one that when I feel emotionally or physically overwhelmed, that I will see myself tend to slide back into. And my husband was like, hey, you're really been a negative Nancy lately. And I was like, oh, take a deep breath. And I actually remind myself, I thrive on positivity. Positivity is what brings me strength. So see, Amanda, I have non-Hodgkin's follicular lymphoma, and that was you too. Yeah. So remember, guys, we may be working on this now. We may know these things now, but our body believes everything in the past is still currently happening, unless we say, hey, you're safe, you're cool, that's okay. And so there's a very big need to go into the past, and we're going to do that with our meditation of let's go and find that point of where we felt that emotion, and let's release it and then create that effect. Because I too do truly believe we can heal the past. Talk more about that. Lymphoma is also self-sabotaging behavior. So for me, it was like, well, I know I need to do this, but I don't feel good. I'm depressed. I don't feel great. I'm just going to lay and watch TV, or not going to do things I need to. There's also a great need to be accepted. And again, outing myself, I have that need. For me, I'm like, oh, I have so many things to share with people. I have so many things that could help people. And for years, I was like, how am I going to help people? Nobody wants to listen to me. So it's kind of like, it's like the need of recognition of someone seeing you. I was saying, I need someone to see me and see that I have something valuable to get and give to this world. And so it's kind of that great need of like, just see me. I need someone to accept me the way I am. And, as an autistic person, that was really hard for me because my whole life I never fit in. And so, lymphoma is going to be those people like that I don't feel like I fit in, or I feel like I have to change who I am to fit in. And I will tell you, this year was the first year that I was like, you know what? Damn it. I like tie-dye. I'm going to wear tie-dye every day. And I have literally changed. I still have a lot of my old wardrobe, but I would say 90% of the time I wear tie-dye every freaking day because it makes me happy. And I like being happy. And I was told, and I don't know the truth in this, but I was told that I couldn't wear like bright rainbow colors because those were only people of the LGBTQ community, and only they could wear those. And I was like, and then I talked to one of my friends, and she's like, no, anybody can wear that. It shows you're supporting us. If anything, go ahead. And I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to wear those bright rainbow colors because they make me happy and they show I support my friends. Damn it. And this lipstick, this is a new thing for me. I've always liked pink lipstick. I was scared to wear it. So I started wearing it on videos because strangely enough, I feel safer on videos. And then I went to public wearing it, and I was in Costco, and I was like, everybody's going to stare at me. My lips are like fire engines. I look crazy. And I was like, no, this makes you happy. Go do it. Go wear your bright lipstick. So not only did I wear it, I went and bought a second tube so I have a backup in case I run out. So, going back into other areas, I have two more that I'm going to touch on today. Kidneys, so kidney cancer, low self-esteem. This kidney cancer is ancient sadness, inherited emotions. It is giving away your power or stealing your power from someone else. So Remember when I was telling you, typically I see kidney and bladder cancer in people who have either had a sexual trauma or who have perpetrated a sexual trauma? This is why, because they've either given their power to the person who has forcefully taken it, or they've forcefully taken it from someone else. Now, other instances are people who have experienced abuse or have perpetrated abuse typically. Like I said, in general, not always, but that's typically what I usually see, is that. So when we talk about ancient sadness, inherited emotions, typically this is going to be generational patterns that we talked about earlier. This is going to be the people that, like, you know, oh, my mom had kidney cancer and my grandma had kidney cancer, my great grandma. You're going to see it perpetuate through because they've been holding on to toxic stuff for so long. And, you know, there's a lot of stuff that's come out with like the Me Too movements and the Native American boarding schools and things like this, where there's a lot of recognitions of abuses that have been swept under the carpet. And often physical, sexual, emotional abuse was swept under the carpet for hundreds of years. Suck it up, buttercup. No, nothing happened to you. It's fine. You know, that's just normal for that to happen, you know? And now we are kind of getting to the place where people are like, hey, not okay. And we're really kind of starting to see some healing work with that. Melanoma is also similar to kidney, which is interesting. When we look at inherited traumas, science has actually proven you are 168% likely to have issues with your skin, your kidney, your liver, lungs, stomach, digestion system, if you've had some sort of trauma in your life. 168%. That means you're probably going to have problems with one, maybe two, maybe more. So we'll look at me. I have liver imbalances that I'm healing. And that's my area. I also have asthma and tend to get bronchitis and pneumonia very easily. So melanoma is kind of in that same range of, you know, it is a trauma that has been festering under the skin that has come up to the top of the skin, that has, the body is like, I can't handle this trauma anymore. Let me push it out of my body. And it comes out in a toxic, cancerous way. It is similar to kidneys, where we have given our power or we've let them take it from us. And we've allowed someone to tell us how to think or act or live, and we're unsatisfied with life. So I'm going to use my mother as an example. My mother ended up with quite a large melanoma on her nose. My mother's belief system is that women are to be submissive to their men, very 1950s. It's my job to take care of my man, and whatever my husband says is right and correct, and I'll follow him. Typically, that's kind of the type of person that's going to end up with a melanoma. Not always, but you know, that's just one instance of what you can see and how that comes through. Again, all in general, very, very general. Tumors in general are from shock or fear or trauma or self-neglect, not following through with your promises and suppressing that emotion of just, let's push this down. And this belief that I can't trust anyone, nobody cares about me. And cancer and tumors fester, and they kind of show and manifest in our body as tumors, as overgrowths. These cells, you know, spiritually, if we look at this, when we are broken spiritually, our body breaks physically. And then our cells forget to do what they're supposed to do because the energy is not flowing properly. Our heart is the home of our subconscious. I quote a lot of scientific studies, and Nicole's going to laugh because I keep saying I need to make a list of all my studies so you guys can read them too, because I love them. But they literally quantified with science that every time your heart beats, photons and particles of light beat and push through your blood, push through your body. That is your soul and your energetic body flowing through. And so, you know, if we look at like lymphoma, because that's one that I dealt with, and we have someone else here that's dealing with that, you know, we block the flow, and all of those toxic emotions have nowhere to go, nowhere to release, and then they fester. And the lymph system is the detox system. We're not detoxing the emotions. Kidneys, detox system, you know, so a lot of these you'll see detox systems that come up with cancer, you know, intestines, stomachs, livers, kidneys, things like this. Cancer manifests showing a malfunction in the basic chakra or the energetic centers. So where is my chakra book? Not here. I'll get a different one. So the basic chakra is actually one that we learn in pranic healing. So if you know about chakras, you are going to know probably the typical, you know, 7 chakra system. There are hundreds of chakras, energetic centers, meridians all over the body, hundreds and hundreds. Nobody ever talks about it because it's incredibly confusing. So just know that you have a lot of them. Like your liver has 3 alone, which is why your liver literally completely regenerates and changes every 6 months. So your basic chakra, I'm going to show you a picture, and FYI, there's a little sketch nudity in this one. Your basic chakra is down here at your tailbone, okay? And you can see there's other chakras on the back, and then it talks about the main chakras up here, but you can see, you know, there's little chakras, a minor chakra in the armpit, because that's an energetic detox center. So we won't go on too much to the chakras because that's like a complete another rabbit hole, but just know that the basic chakra is that chakra at the end. It is at the bottom of that tailbone. And when that chakra malfunctions, it will manifest in cancer, heart disease. Oh my gosh, what other ones? Sorry, brain farting all of them. But just know that that's actually a chakra there that draws in that energy. It is used for, that chakra is used for energizing the entire physical body. And so like when we do pranic healing, that's the first chakra that will actually go in and heal. And so that is actually one of the places that we're going to focus in on healing today. We're going to focus in on looking at, you know, doing a sweeping of the body. We're going to focus in on the basic chakra, the heart chakra, the lungs, and the crown and forehead chakras as well. And you know, we're going to go with the flow based on the class that we have today, and just kind of go with where spirit leads me to provide the healing that that the people who are in class today need. And we will trust that spirit and creator will really guide me to kind of where we need to go with that beyond the things that I know up here. And we'll also set the intention that that session will be useful for anybody watching the replay. And so we're going to start with our spiritual healing meditation, energy healing. If you haven't experienced an energy healing before, or Reiki, I'll kind of just explain it to you really briefly. As energy healing is going into the energetic spiritual body and helping to sweep, clear, re-energize, and remove any energetic blockages so that the physical body can reorganize itself and start the healing process. I believe 100,000% that your body has the ability to heal, and that sometimes it just needs a little help, just a little push, a little reminder. If you remember these things, can do them yourself at home. You can rewatch the replay as much as you want. And I know Nicole's probably laughing as well about the replays. I have been very behind on replays, but we're working on them. Actually, I have a couple more people that are going to help. So we're going to get replays up. If you're not well hydrated, try to take a drink of water. Just know that after the class, you may feel tired. You may feel like you need to take a nap, and listen to your body. If your body wants a nap, go sleep. Because your body, when we feel tired, it's our body saying, we need to heal, we need to heal. Can you help me heal? Let's go rest. And so that's your body saying, I want to rest. And I want to start the healing process. You know, when animals are sick, they go lay down under a tree and they rest and they allow their bodies to heal. They don't keep pushing themselves beyond. So just pay attention to how your body is feeling. You know, if you feel like overwhelmed by the energy at any time, you can stop the meditation. Sometimes these things, so I have very rarely people will feel dizzy because the energy is too much for them. So if that's the case, you know, you can just kind of open your eyes and come out of the meditation and just kind of take some deep breaths to kind of clear that out. And then, just remember after we're done, I'll have some kind of self-care tips. So if I forget, remind me to tell you about the self-care things that you can do on the other side. And so we're going to start our meditation with the deep breaths I was talking about earlier, where we're going to deep breathe in through the nose, and that inhale comes in through the nose, and it fully expands our lungs all the way where your stomach's pushing out, and then we kind of pause, and then we push it out. And so we're trying to get that full air running through our lungs so we can get that full energetic exchange. You can envision that you're breathing in pure white light, or you can just envision whatever you want. Typically, I envision breathing in pure white light and exhaling out any stagnant energy that I'm retaining. And so just kind of keep that in mind as we go, that is what we will do with deep breathing. And yeah, so we're going to get started, and I'm going to do the deep breaths with you. And we're going to start with 3 deep breaths and then move on from there. So we'll start with 3 deep breaths in. First breath in. Pause and exhale. Second breath. Pause and exhale. Third deep breath in. Pause and exhale. So as we continue, you can continue your deep breathing process. To further connect your energy, you can place your tongue on the roof of your mouth to create a full energetic circuit. But if it's difficult to breathe, that way you don't have to. So first, we're just going to focus in on whatever emotions we're feeling right now. If there's fear, uneasiness, or things that you don't understand, let's just recognize those really quickly. Recognize any other emotions that feel negative or yucky. Any stagnant emotions that we're holding on to. Ask your body if there's any emotions you need to be aware of. Any fears that you need to recognize. And just recognize them. I want you to recognize that to feel emotions is human. That our emotions that are positive and negative are only truly from our perspective, from our actions and our reactions to the events that have happened in our life. And that it is okay to experience emotions that feel negative, because it is part of the experience as a human. When we are spiritual beings, we come to learn all things. And negative emotions are part of those things. And that it is okay to have experiences that create these emotions. We're going to take a deep breath in. And we'll ask our body about time, about what point in time these emotions became trapped and stuck within us, when they started festering, when these emotions started becoming a part of who we are, of how we acted and reacted in our lives. When did we allow these emotions to control us, to shift us off of our path and our purpose? I want you to go back in time, back to the point where you can remember the first time that these negative emotions took control of you, that took control of your life and changed who you were. And I want you to tell that past self a very simple phrase. Just want you to look to the past, speak the words, I love you, and watch them dance across the span of time. And send those words back to the past part of you that needed to feel love and peace and balance. Take a deep breath in. Speak to your body, speak to your soul, and say out loud or in your mind, I send healing and love, understanding and peace back to the past, back to the original point of injury, back to the point in time where the cancerous emotions started growing within me. I send love, I send peace, I send forgiveness, and full and complete understanding. Take a deep breath in. Watch and feel the past you, the present you, and notice if you feel a little bit of a shift. I want you to focus in on the area or areas of your body that need healing from the cancer emotions that we are holding on to. Visualize what this looks like within you. There's no right or wrong answer. It might be dark, sticky, tarry substance. It might be tumors. It might be gross. It might be little green energy. Whatever it is, just visualize this energy and start speaking the words, I love you, I love you, I love you. And continue to speak love. You can envision that these areas are being filled with pink light. And I'm just going to sweep through your auric field and your energy. I'm going to sweep through the stagnant energy, any remaining toxic emotions. Allow your body to release and fill those areas with love as you release the toxic emotions. And I'll just sweep through, and we're going to send these over violet to dissipate and release as they send all the experiences and remaining emotions up to Creator in the universe to heal, to dissipate and release. I'd like you to envision that your feet become like roots of a tree. And we're going to send those roots down, down, down into the ground with thanks and gratitude. Release into the earth any sadness, any despair, any fear, any toxicity that your body is holding on to. We release down into the earth with love and gratitude as we thank Mother Earth. And then up through those roots, we'll draw new, clean energy up gently into the body to restore, to balance, and to continue that healing. Take a deep breath in. I want to focus in on the basic chakra, which is at the base of your tailbone on your back. We're going to sweep through We're going to release any stagnant, stuck energy, any mud, dirt, congestion. And look at that chakra. And we're going to ask that chakra to restore, cleanse, and release, going back to its original size, intent, and purpose, allowing it to flow in the directions that it is meant to flow into. As it breathes in new clean energy to the body and exhales out any old stagnant energy. Allow that chakra to continue to move, to rotate, re-energizing your body. Let's focus in on your heart, that heart chakra. Look at if there is any emotional pain, emotional blockages, walls, or fortresses or chains around your heart. Look at anything that binds your heart in protection or old energy or pain. Look at all the ways that you have tried to protect yourself. And know that those ways of protecting yourself do not benefit your body. So I want you to break through those barriers, those chains with whatever tools you need. Allow them to fall and drop at your feet. Allow them to release gently and completely. Fill your heart almost like it takes a deep breath at relief of losing those walls and burdens. And through your heart, envision that the light that is you begins to beat more strongly, more completely through your body. With every beat of your heart, that energy flows through unobstructed. It flows through your body into any areas that contain cancerous cells, restoring, regenerating. We ask that the light that is us remind our body that it knows how to heal, it knows how to restore, and we command the cells, the organs, the blood, all related connections to the body, the DNA, and everything else to restore to its intended purpose and function. That the cells that have forgotten their purpose remember what they were there to do, and that those cells start to regenerate and to heal and to restore any destruction that they have caused. The cells remind themselves they know how to heal and rebalance. That we release from the cells the need to attack our body with it from within. Take a deep breath in. Continue to deep breathe as I surround you in a beautiful rainbow of beautiful light, gently swirling around your body in pinks and purples and turquoise and blue and greens and yellows, oranges, all the colors, pinks that your body needs will allow this beautiful rainbow of healing energy to create a circle of healing light around your body, and that your body can take whatever it needs, and it can leave whatever it doesn't. that this energy is present and available for all that choose to receive it. Take a deep breath in. Focus in on the areas of your cancer that you are healing. Send that area love and gratitude and peace. Ask that any of the light that you have chosen to receive from the rainbow colors of healing flow in to that area. Ask that your body receives any healing energy that it needs, not only from this call, from this video, from the rainbow, but also from the air and the sun, the plants, the grass, the trees, and the water around you. Call in the healing prana to surround your body. Let's take a deep breath in. If we have any fears, any attachments to healing, let's release those now. Be at peace with our body, at peace with our needs. Recognize that any fear or anxiety you might be feeling is your subconscious and its attempts at trying to protect you from perceived dangers. Go into your body, go into your heart, your mind, and your soul, and speak to your body and tell your body and your soul, I am safe. I am protected. I am healing. That there is nothing in this world that can destroy the energy that is me. Energy is eternal, and I am an eternal being. And I am capable through the power and the energy that I can receive through the earth, through Creator, through Mother Earth, the water and energy around me, that I am able to receive that and heal. That healing is possible for all to receive. That miracles happen every day, and that you are worthy and capable of receiving those miracles. Take a deep breath in. You can repeat with me out loud or in your mind. I permanently clear all negative attachments and emotions backwards through time, forward into the future, sideways, through all levels, all dimensions and time. I permanently clear and release. I want you to just say thank you. Thank you to God, Creator of the universe. Thank you to your body, your cells. Thank you for the spiritual energy that is you. Thank you for the healing that you have received today, the healing you've received in the past, and the healing that you will receive in the future. That healing is your divine birthright to call upon. Take another deep breath in. And we can say thank you. And when you are ready, you may open your eyes Come back into the room. Wiggle your toes, your fingers, flex your feet. Kind of wiggle around, kind of let that energy dissipate. Now, after the call, if you're able, you can go on a walk, kind of let some of any of the old energy that's stuck around, if we have too much energy built up, we can release some of it. You can go ground by touching a tree, putting your bare feet in the grass. Even if you're in a city, there's actually a doctor on YouTube that has proven that the sidewalk is grounded because it is built directly on the ground and the energy can flow through there. So that's also another way that you can kind of ground and connect your energy. If you are able, Spirit has been revealing to me with everyone I'm working with that going to a body of water going to be very helpful. I don't know why. I worked with a cancer patient. Spirit has like send them to the water, send them to the ocean, and that is a great way to kind of visualize and heal. So go float in the water, go put your feet wherever is safe and help you based on your treatments. But as you touch the water, vision you are releasing that energy, that water coming over you and cleansing and restoring your body. Water is life, and it is vital for us as humans, and it carries energy within it, and really, really important to us. And I think that is why, it was revealed to me that to tell people to go to a body of water. So wherever you can go to a clean of water, do. If you can't, use your bathtub as your body of water. And you can put Epsom salts or sea salt in it, essential oils, flower petals. Careful, I've clogged my several times with flower petals. My husband does not like that. I tend to clog with my flower petals and the toilet with my affirmations. And my husband's just like, please. So be careful. But as you do that, do this visualization of, this water is and releasing and washing this over. I sit in the tub, I actually let is flowing off of me, and I'll drain the tub and sit in there drained, and then I'll get up and I'll go rinse off in the shower. Kind of can do that. You can even do that maybe like tonight or tomorrow after the call. Make sure that you're adequately hydrated as well. If you haven't heard, there's my book. Dr. Masaru, I'm a huge fan of him. He wrote many books on like the hidden uses of water, and he was actually an energy healer, a pranic healer, and a scientist. He has since passed away, but he learned that by speaking words to water and then seeing them, and that would literally shift and change. That had the cancer. Apparently, I don't. We'll just use this one as an example. This is the word blasphemy. The snowflake. It looks very destructive and not very pretty. The word spare. You can see that crystal is very distorted. Now we go on in here and we see, I'm like, this is human clone. It's really funny enough. It looks like one of the clones Star Wars. And this one is truth. So you can see the beauty in the crystal that speak positive language. There's truth. Let's find this one is Happy Chris. Let's see. This is, I'm trying to find. This is Harmony. So you can see they make beautiful crystals. So, which talk to is 70 to 90% water. You can to it. I don't have this bottle with me right now. But the full moon I think just passed, but the energy is still pretty strong. You can make water, or you can even do it to just get I have a glass bottle. I just took a permanent mark. wrote love, healing, peace, kindness, and we'll fill it with water. Purified spring water is the best, but whatever you can get is fine. And I spoke those words to her. I said, this water is love. This water has positive emotions instilled in it. And then we drink it, and that every day, you know, and it is of bless your water. And biwa, which I believe is in Japan, and is womb. So the water was very contaminated and very kind of dangerous to even drink in. And this is what the water crystals looked in the beginning. It took a bunch of healers and monks out on the water who prayed over the water, who blessed the water, who spoke positive energy to the water. And these are the crystals after. Now, unfortunately, you know, the contamination still remains. They couldn't clear out the contamination of chemicals, but they changed the energy of the water. And so, you know, just as I said, this class is a layer of healing, right? We shift the molecules within us through the energy, and then we clear the contaminations from our body. So, you know, like for me, lymphoma is, you know, I worked on the lymph system of, okay, this is a detoxing thing. So I started taking a lot of detoxing herbs that would help with lymphatic drainage. I had lymphatic massages. I did Qigong and Tai Chi because those movements help kind of move the lymph. So we create layers of healings where we have our spiritual and our physical and our doctors and the medications and, you know, all of those things that we kind of pile on top of each other that create a firm foundation for healing. And so look at utilizing those techniques, the mind, body, spirit techniques. I'm a massive fan of Qigong, especially when it comes to cancer. You know, yoga, Qigong, and Tai Chi are all very much favorites of mine, but Qigong and Tai Chi are going to be profoundly healing, at least spiritually, hopefully even physically for you. So look at taking those classes if you're physically able to. You know, there are even teachers where you, if you're not able to stand or get yourself through an entire class, that you can kind of just do little movements in a chair. You know, there's studies as well, you know, maybe you're watching this replay and you're bedridden and you're like, I can't do anything, I'm in bed. There's actually scientific studies where they had people visualizing that they were exercising, and their body actually had the same results as if they actually completed the exercise itself. So if you cannot, watch a YouTube video and envision your body doing it. Get into the full emotions. What does it feel to do this? Envision your body creating those motions spiritually, and you might see some pretty good results with that. And then eventually, the hope is you'll be strong enough to kind of get out of bed and do it yourself. Don't push yourself stronger than you have strength. Do what you can where you're able to do those things, and be gentle with yourself, because your body right now is saying, I need to heal. I need to be gentle with myself. And so surround yourself with that gentle healing energy, and don't push yourself further than you have strength. Don't do what everybody thinks you need to do. Do what you intuitively feel like you need to do. And that is the most important thing, is really going in intuitively. What do I need for my healing? You know, what is going to be good for me? You know, not just what does everybody else think I need to do, but what feels connected to me. And, you know, I said this at the beginning of the class, and I'll say it again. I truly believe 100% that your body is capable of healing anything. And, you know, there are so many studies and moments where people have said, oh, you're terminal, and this is, you know, you have no way out of this. And then they have miraculous healings. I've heard of so many stories like that. I am connected with Japan, whereas my stepdad lived in Japan for 30 years. So we have a lot of connection with the Japanese people. In Japan, they never tell anybody that they're terminal. Never. They always give them hope and dreams. I actually do have one of my studies, if you guys want to look at it, and I'll show you really quickly. It's one you can read later, and I'll post it in the comments just as things I'm going to screen share. This is Journal of Clinical and Diagnostic Research, and they showed a positive response with pranic healing. So this is one of the things we did today, interventions by some subjects suffering with cancer. And, they kind of talk about how it's a no-touch energy healing, this, that, and the other. They did 6 weeks of pranic healing treatment, and it helped reduce the size and spread of the cancer dramatically. So, I hopefully will try to do regular classes for you guys if you're interested. If not, you can just keep listening to this, or you can seek out a pranic healer in your area as well who can support you with this. But this case report shows that it prevented the spread of metastatic cancer and possibly even helped some people completely heal. And so this one is specifically on a 63-year-old patient, I can't say the word today, patient who had a carcinoma in the breast with brain metastasis and carcinoma that had spread to the liver and lungs. So this was a pretty dramatic case. And she was really able to get some very profound results. So, they saw these are her lesions before, 4 centimeters. They called one big. What does big mean? I don't know. Big. One was 1.5 centimeter lung nodules, and brain lesions were multiple and marked. Her breast lesions went down dramatically to 1.5, liver to very small, lungs reduced in size, and the brain lesions nearly resolved after this energy healing treatment. So, I'm not trying to sell you on energy healing because I never charged for my energy healing. That's one of my personal rules. So just so you know, I just want you to see that this is possible. That I want you to understand that there are people who have used energy healing to support their journey and have received beautiful results.